Hello dear students of class 2 and welcome to yet another online class of general knowledge. Dear children, today we are going to do the 15th lesson from your GK book, Clean Classroom. Now dear children, what is cleanliness? Right? If I have to put it in simple word, cleanliness is staying neat and tidy, keeping your surroundings neat and tidy, avoiding any kind of dirty things from gathering around you. Right? These all comply cleanliness. Now, dear children, there is a very old saying which goes, the old saying is, cleanliness is next to godliness. Means, how much you believe in God, how much you want the God to be nearer to you. For that, the first requirement is you need to be clean. Your surroundings need to be clean. You see, dear children, if you and your surroundings are not clean, then first thing is people will avoid you. People will avoid you. Nobody wants to talk to a dirty boy or dirty girl or someone who is sitting in a dirty place, right? Next and most important thing, if you are not taking care of your cleanliness, of the cleanliness of your surroundings, then what will happen? People, you all will suffer from various diseases. You all will suffer from various problems that accumulate around you, right? Germs, virus, and all that, right? It will always make you sick, very, very, very sick. And then all the time you'll have to take those tasteless medicines, those bitter syrups, and those, not swallowable capsules. If you don't want to be sick, if you want to stay clean and tidy, cleanliness is the only option. Dear children, since last few months, right, we are confined to our homes. We have to move around with mask, right? Why? Because of coronavirus. And what is the one thing that can keep us safe from coronavirus? Staying neat and clean. You remember what doctors say on the television? You come to your home, you wash your hands, right? You wash your face, you use sanitizer. When you go out, in order to avoid a dirty place or dirty thing, you use a mask. So you see, if you want to stay neat, clean and tidy, if you will stay neat, clean and tidy, then you will avoid even something as deadly as a corona virus. But if you won't, then that's another story. Another story in the sense, you will suffer. You will suffer. So dear children, in this regard, let me clarify it to you. Cleanliness is very important. Now dear children, one place apart from your home, one place that you spend maximum time in is your classroom, right? From 8 o'clock till 2 o'clock, you spend time in the classroom. Now after that, just think, if you keep your classroom dirty, if you throw garbage here and there, if you throw papers and your food droppings and your wrappers, right, stuff like that, if you throw around, if you spit on the walls, correct or not, if you keep the classroom dirty, then very soon that same classroom will become a place of dirt and disease for you. Now in our school, our aunties and ayahs, they are doing a lot of hard work to keep the classroom clean, right? They sweep the class every day. But we also have certain duty, because we are the ones who will be sitting in the classroom, you are the ones who will be sitting in the classroom. So it's your duty to make sure that the classroom stays clean, classroom stays neat. Now dear children, in that regard, there are 4 pictures out here. These 4 pictures give you a message on how to keep your classroom clean. Now all we have to see is whether the message given is correct or not. So one by one we'll go through these pictures. I'll explain the pictures to you, and then we'll note the message on the board and we will see whether it is correct or not. Having said that, let's continue. So your very first, number 1, put waste materials in the dustbin. Put waste materials in the dustbin. You see there is a picture here. If you look at this picture, there's a picture of a classroom. There's a boy, there is a girl, and look at what boy is doing. Boy has some garbage in his hand, most probably some kind of juice or water, you can say, or something garbage, and he is putting it into something. This is known as dustbin. This is known as dustbin. I don't have to explain to you what dustbin is. Every class has one. Every class has one. So this boy is putting the garbage in the dustbin. Now we have to see whether it is correct or not. Of course, those who know it, you know it very well that it is a correct thing to do. We should always put all kind of garbage, we should always put all kind of waste materials only into the dustbin. If you so much have to sharpen your pencil, then you should go stand near the dustbin, sharpen the pencil, and make sure all the pencil shavings, those tiny wood pieces that come out when you sharpen the pencil, they are all put into the dustbin only, not around. This is one great way, sure short way to keep your classroom clean. Alright, dear children? Now moving on to the second picture. Throw paper in the classroom. Throw paper in the classroom. You see, now here is the second picture. Here is a second picture. We have a girl and 2 boys, and look around what they have done. They have torn the paper, they have made various stuff out of it, and they are throwing it all around. Now problem with throwing the paper all around is that you won't pick it up later on. You see, most of the naughty kids, what they do, they throw the paper around, right? They make aeroplanes, they make pistols, they make one of those toy thingies out of the paper. And what they do with that paper, they throw the paper around, right? Most of the kids, what they do, if they have to wipe their mouth after eating food and all, they don't bring their own handkerchief. What they do, they will tear a paper from the copy, they will clean up their hands, they'll wipe their mouth with that paper, and that paper also they won't throw it in the dustbin. Instead, they'll be throwing it around. You see, throwing paper in the classroom is one of the major reasons a classroom gets dirtier, right? So we can say that what these kids are doing, throw paper in the classroom, is a wrong activity. It should not be done. It should not be done. It's a wrong activity. Now let's look at the third one. Litter the floor. Litter the floor. You see what is going on in this floor? Kids are doing their work, right? This is the third picture here. Kids are busy doing the work. But look at what this girl is doing. She's sharpening her pencil and she's throwing all the pencil shavings down. Small bits of paper, right, are on the floor itself. You see, many kids, what they do, they take a paper, right, they use it for some reason, and then instead of just crushing the paper and throwing it in the dustbin, they'll tear it into smaller pieces and smaller pieces and smaller pieces. They'll make very, very small pieces out of it, smaller than chits also. And then what they do with that paper, they throw that paper around. They throw that paper around. They will put this paper here and there. So this thing should not be there. This thing is what makes classroom dirty. In number 1 only I told you, if you have something to throw, If you have any kind of waste with you, instead of putting it on the floor, instead of throwing it in the corner of the classroom, right, instead of hiding it under the desk, what you can do, you can simply go to the dustbin, put it in the dustbin. Problem sorted. This way you won't be responsible for making your classroom dirty. So in that regard, we can say that litter the floor is a wrong activity. Litter the floor is a wrong activity. We should not litter the floor. We should not throw garbage on the floor. As far as possible, we should always make sure that all our garbage ends up in the dustbin. Even some kids, what they do, they throw their waste material out of the window, right? And they think they are doing a good thing because they are not throwing it in the classroom. Children, it's about your surroundings. Outside the window is also a part of your surrounding. If you'll throw garbage there, if the garbage accumulates outside, very soon flies, mosquitoes, right, germs, bacteria will start gathering there, and you will be the one falling sick because you are the one near the window. So always make sure that the only place your garbage, your waste material ends up in is the dustbin. Not any place else, only the dustbin. Next, number 4. Clean your desk after having lunch. Clean your desk after having lunch. You see, dear children, having lunch is very, very important for small children like you. You need to have your lunch because you need to have energy for the remaining class. Morning time you take the breakfast. With that breakfast you survive from 8 o'clock to 11 o'clock. But after that, from 11 to 2 o'clock also you need energy to survive. So you need your lunch, very important. And as you are small kids, whenever you sit and eat, whenever you are eating on the table, it's very common that something will drop on the table. Sometimes food particles drop on the table. Sometimes, gravy drops on the table. Sometimes water falls on the table. It happens. Not your fault. You are small kids, right? But not cleaning it afterwards. After the lunch break is over, after you are done eating, before you leave your classroom to play outside, it should be made sure by you that your writing table, your study table is cleaned. What you can do for that? You can bring some extra tissues from your home, right? Use those tissues to wipe the desk. Instead of tearing pages from the book, you can use tissues to wipe clean the desk, right? If you don't have tissue, which everybody cannot carry, right, you can use the paper. But whether you use tissue or paper, after you are done cleaning it, after you are done making sure that there is no food particle, no gravy spot on the table, you will have to throw that paper or tissue in the dustbin. For small children like you, the most important thing that you can do, dear children, is to make sure that all your garbage, no matter what, whether you are cleaning the floor, whether you are cleaning your desk, right, whether you are sharpening the pencil, any waste that you create should end up in the dustbin. So in that regard, we can say cleaning your desk after having lunch is a right activity. It is a right activity. So dear children, always make sure that your classroom stays clean. Some rules you can follow for outside also. Like there is a very simple rule when it comes out. You see, many a time you take money from parents. You go, you buy some fast food, some chocolate, some packet food, right? You tear open the packet, you have it, or you open the wrapper, you have your chocolate. And afterwards, what do you do with that wrapper? Mostly you throw it on the ground wherever your food ends, right? But what you should be doing is that you should take that wrapper and find the nearest dustbin and put it in. Till you don't find the dustbin, don't throw wrapper here and there. Keep the wrapper in the pocket. Just move around till you find a dustbin and then put it in the dustbin. See, always make sure of two things, dear children. Number one, you should always keep your surroundings clean. And number two, because of you, surroundings should not be dirty. If you can remember these two things, you will make a vital contribution towards cleanliness. Having said this, I'll end up the chapter here. What you can do is, you can take this chapter, whatever's written on the board, right? And you can write it in the copy. Alright, dear children, I'll provide you the pic. Okay, thank you very much. Stay safe.